What's up, you beautiful beasts? Welcome to Beep Beep, the channel where I discuss thinking and living outside of the box. I'm B-Love, and this week I'm going to discuss authenticity versus acceptance. Being put in a box is a way to control the narrative. For example, if you're liberal or conservative, you're part of a team that makes you feel validated. Other people agree with your opinions. That team has your back. Listening to others who share your worldview helps you not only connect, but learn to become better at defending your stance. There are many positive members-only benefits that come along with being in that box. However, there's an oppressive and domineering dark side of this coin. To gain those members-only benefits, one is expected to ignore the man behind the curtain. If you are conservative and pro-choice or liberal and pro-life, your peers make you feel afraid to speak your truth. You keep certain personal beliefs to yourself because you're aware if you criticize your club, they're going to consider you a disloyal extremist. Consequently, the conundrum of choosing to be or not to be real is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to suffer the slings and arrows of fascism or to be freed from a sea of boxes, and by opposing, end them. Gabor Mate, renowned addiction expert, speaker, and author, refers to this struggle as authenticity versus attachment. Dr. Mate is sought after for his expertise on trauma, addiction, stress, and childhood development. And if you're interested in reading his stuff or watching one of his videos, I left links in the description, along with other links to other references. Gabor Mate asked the question, what happens if our need to be accepted isn't compatible with our need to be true to ourselves? When a child is born, it has two needs, attachment and authenticity. Attachment includes connection, contact, and love. Without these things, any non-reptile infant does not survive. Perhaps well-meaning, but definitely unhelpful things we tell kids are, it's no big deal. Big girls, big boys don't cry, or that's only for girls, or that's only for boys. To the obvious, meant to be helpful, but unnecessary to say things like, you did well, but you could do better, or life isn't fair. Things that everybody already knows and you don't need to tell them. And then there's the more obvious, emotionally abusive things that we sometimes tell kids out of anger. And I'm going to share clips from a video. I'm going to share the whole video in the description below. So if you're interested, you should check it out.
Too fat, too short, or too skinny. Why do you act so weird? Why do you walk that way, chew that way? I regret having you. I wish you were a different child. You cost me too much money. It's so hard to take care of you. Having you exhausts me. Why aren't you like your sibling, cousin, or the other kids? You're a loser, or you'll never make it. I'll leave you. I'll just disappear. If you do this, I'll buy you that. Or I'll take you there next time. But then they don't do it.
And then there's the highly recommended, highly endorsed physical abuse, like this.
Parents, you must beat your kids, okay?
The children, beat your children. Go home, wake them up, beat them.
Some of my video got cut out because of copyright nonsense. So I'm back to make some new edits. People want you to beat your kids, which I can understand because I've worked with kids for over a decade, and I can tell you that working with kids is the best form of birth control. People who don't admit the kids can be little a-holes are in denial. I had one parent tell me, if my kid acts up, you have our permission to beat him. I wouldn't do that because out of all the tactics used to keep people in their designated boxes, violence is the worst. I don't agree with the meme that says, I think it's safe to say that the ass-whooping generation turned out better than the timeout generation. I mean, while sort of amusing, I guess, it simply isn't true. What? No generations turned out well. We all suck. Also, we've never stopped with the ass-whooping because it's legal. It's the cheapest, laziest thing comedians do to get a cheap laugh. They'll keep on telling you, beat your kids, because they know it's really not that funny, but it'll get a laugh because it validates all the parents who beat their kids.
Beat your kids, man. Beat them, whoop they motherfucking ass.
You know, I'm just smacking around. Put it through drywall, teach it a lesson.
beat the motherfuckers. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Beat your kids, please. I tell you.
You do not have to reason with a child. You are the parent, and what you say goes.
You're damn right I hit my kids.
You gotta hit your kids.
I hit my kids.
Please beat your children.
What are you, an idiot? What are you, a fucking ape?
Yeah, leave them out of this. First of all, you know what separates humans from every other animal? We're the most abusive to our kids, especially emotionally. Bitch, be humble.
Teaching them that you hit things.
Louis C.K. is the only one who does a monologue on spanking that I actually appreciate. I'm going to read a quote from it. I'm reading it, so I'm not going to do it justice, but it's still worth a hear. It's crazy that we hit our kids. Here's the crazy thing about it. Kids are the only people in the world that you're allowed to hit. Do you realize that? They're the most vulnerable, and they're the most destroyed by being hit. But it's totally okay to hit them. And they're the only ones. If you hit a dog, they'll fucking put you in jail for that shit. You can't hit a person unless you can prove that they were trying to kill you. But a little tiny person with a head this big that trusts you implicitly, fuck 'em. Who gives a shit? Hit 'em. Let's all hit 'em. So what does a child do with that? If I give up my attachments for the sake of authenticity, I lose my relationships on which my life depends. So our authenticity becomes suppressed, along with our connection to our own bodies and our emotions. Most parents, if not all, have conveyed the message to their children that they are not acceptable the way they are with the emotions they have. They don't mean to send that message. In fact, it's the opposite of which we wish to convey. What people mean to convey is...
Want you just the way you are.
Now here we are, 25, 30, 40 years old, and we don't know who we are. When someone asks, how do you feel? We don't know how to answer. Try it. Answer that question without using a judgment or without saying that. Instead of saying, I feel disconnected, we say, I feel like you're disrespectful. Or instead of saying, I feel insecure, we say, I feel like you're not listening. Because we've been taught to be judgmental and we're scared to be vulnerable, but we haven't been taught how to identify our feelings. Women are taught to be afraid of expressing their emotions because they'll be called too sensitive or too emotional. Did you get a visit from Aunt Flo? And men, we're afraid to be vulnerable and be in touch with our feelings because we're not allowed to feel anything but anger. Even though anger is a secondary emotion, it doesn't travel without a companion. You might be angry because you got embarrassed, etc. Against our nature, we lose our gut feelings and our instincts. And we pay the price later in life through addictions, mental illness, any number of physical ailments. And it all began with having to choose between authenticity or attachment, when really we need both. Okay, my video is starting to get long, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm aware this isn't the best high quality recording. If I get a lot of subscribers, I'll start investing in recording equipment. So please do subscribe. I'm going to see you out with a song that I wrote for my theme song is the Box Baler. Most of my videos will have songs to go with them that I've written. If you're interested in my music, also let me know that in the comments below. All right, thank you. See you next time. Bye.
Walk to the cell. I'll free you from your jailer. I'll send a boss to hell like Vlad the Impaler. Cause I'm the Baler. BB! Box Baler. Food for thought, not all walls are solid, not all cells are squalid. There are many cell blocks, many different types of locks. Society scraps you and traps you in a box. Could it be? Here comes me to set you free. B-L-O-V-E, B for Baler, like Vlad the Impaler. I don't detox the box, I employ you to destroy it. And even if I ever die, don't try to put me in a box. Geeks and jocks, smash that box. Freaks and flocks, smash that box. what I gotta do to get through to you. Over the poo-poo's nest I flew, but at least I'm not Magoo. I'm rubber, you're glue. It all comes back to you, and I won't let you make my green eyes blue. I'll tell you how I do this voodoo I do that makes you wanna break out. Primal scream and shout for the Baler.